What's going on, guys? This is part 4 of the Python control server, and today we're going to be doing file encryption and file transfer. So we're going to be implementing both of that functionality today. Now let's hop into a demo here so we can see that in action, and later on we'll dive into the code. So let me run the client on my other computer. There we go. Cool. So let's do a directory command. Alright, so you can see we have this image here called P2. Now let's do a command which is called Encrypt File, and we're gonna pass the first argument, which is the file. So we put the file name and pass for the password, and make sure you have that comma in there separating the arguments, and we'll just do my password, whatever. And yeah, so if we do the directory command again, you can see we have generated the encrypted file on the client machine, and now we also have a download command. So we could do download png.aes, and we're gonna go ahead and try to download the encrypted file. Alright, and there you go. You can see I have the file right here on my system, and let's say you wanted to do a decryption of that file on the client. You could just do decrypt file, the same arguments. So you put well, I should delete the other file first, but you would do decrypt file, file equals p2.png.aes, and password my password. Alright, and you can see that's gonna go ahead and generate that image. And of course we have the upload command, which we could go ahead and do like upload. I have this image here on my C directory, so if we do like that and give it a second, and we do a directory command, and boom, there's that image over there that I just had on my C directory, which is now on the client, and we get to encrypt the files for safety. Now let's take a look at the code. Alright, so here on the client script we've added the time library, and I think that's the only new library we've imported. Now if you remember, on part 3 we had that function to break the encrypted traffic down into multiple parts. Alright, so I went ahead and I turned that function into a isolated method here. So you can see that now we have this send data, which is basically just copy and paste of that code from part 3 into a separate function of itself. Now besides that, this is the encrypt file along with the decrypt file functions. So this is new. This was not here on part 3. Basically we just add an extension, and then we define a buffer size, go ahead and run the encrypt file method from PyAEScript, which requires the original file, the new file that's going to be encrypted, the password, and the buffer size. So as you can remember, these are the 2 arguments required, and the rest is automatically generated. And if we have any errors, we'll go ahead and report that back to the server. And the decrypt file is pretty much the same thing. I don't think there's anything different. The method is the same, except we have to put the encrypted file first, and the second argument is the decrypted file name that we like. Alright, again, if there's any errors, send that back to the server. Let them know either the password was wrong or the file name was incorrect, something of that sort. Now if you look here, this function is also new. It is the send file function, and it's not very complicated at all. We just open the file that we intend to send over to the server, or vice versa, since we also have both the download and the upload commands. and the only argument being the file name to either download or upload. And we read the entire contents of that file in binary. Then we go ahead and ship that over to the other side, give a little break, and we send the end of file delimiter so the server knows like, hey, we're done with this, let's go ahead and move on to the next command, right? And of course, inside the main loop here, we've added conditions to check for both of these new commands we inputted into the script. So we have here encrypt file check, decrypt file check, and we do some basic error checking, pretty trivial stuff. This is how we get the arguments. So you can see we're separating it by the equal and then by the comma. So you gotta have the comma in there. If you don't, it's gonna return an error. It's gonna say invalid arguments, blah blah blah, and give you a usage example. Oh yeah, and then the download condition and the upload. So yeah, it's pretty much simple stuff. We just call the send file function in here, give a 1 second break, and then we send the response from that function. And for the upload, we basically start a new listening thread, and we just go ahead and download all of that data until we receive the end of file delimiter. So yeah, I guess that's basically it in a nutshell. Anyway guys, that's gonna be it for today. I was thinking of adding maybe the recursive encryption method to this script. I don't know if you guys want that. Leave a like, let me know in the comments. I did make a video about that. I'll put it up here on the card. And of course the files, the link, you can download it below on the blog. And that's it for today. I'll see you next time.